but that plan was later put on hold. That left the agreement in an uncertain state. Japan has won the World Baseball Classic for the third time. The Japanese team beat the U.S., the defending champion, 3-2 in the final. It's Japan's first title since 2009. We're broadcasting from NHK in Tokyo.
Marketplace is supported by Unisys. Where some see barriers, Unisys sees breakthroughs, a technology solutions partner across digital workplace, app modernization, cloud, and beyond. Unisys, keep breaking through.
Happy Fed Day, everybody.
I want to start with a plain English summary of how the economy is doing, what my colleagues and I at the Federal Reserve are trying to do, and why.
From American Public Media, this is Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by the United States Postal Service, offering postage stamps for purchase at more than 40,000 supermarkets, drugstores, office suppliers, and wholesale clubs. And by Alteryx. Alteryx enables anyone to make better data-driven decisions and believes in the power of analytics for all. Learn more at alteryx.com.
In Los Angeles, I'm Kai Rizdal. It is Wednesday, today the 22nd day of March. Good as always to have you along. All right, so look, to be clear, that piece of audio up in the open that we just played was from one of Jay Powell's very first press conferences, not today's. But I played it because the Fed chair today had a very fine public messaging line to walk. There was, of course, and is, the whole banking situation.
I guess our view is that the banking system is sound and it's resilient. It's got strong capital and liquidity.
There was some calming of the waters going on, right?
We took powerful actions with Treasury and the FDIC, which demonstrate that all depositors' savings are safe and that the banking system is safe.
And there was and is this.
The process of getting inflation back down to 2% has a long way to go and is likely to be bumpy.
And this is where things get tricky because you got a banking situation on one hand and inflation on the other, and neither of those exists in a vacuum. So here are the relevant parts of a single, long-ish Powell answer, chopped up just a little bit, about how those two things are kind of working together.
So, we've just come from an FOMC meeting.
That's the Federal Open Market Committee, which sets rates and which wrapped up its meeting right before Powell started taking questions.
And, the people who write the minutes will be very carefully counting.
The minutes of this meeting are coming out in 3 weeks.
But I'll tell you what I heard. What I heard was a significant number of people saying that they anticipated there would be some tightening of credit conditions, and that would really have the same effects as our policies do.
That's the nut graph right there, the meat of this story. The pullback in lending that we've been seeing since SVB went under is going to do the same thing as a Fed rate hike. And it's happening in real time.
Remember, this is 12 days ago. We're trying to assess something that just is so recent. And it's very difficult. There's so much uncertainty.
And that effectively changed the Fed's mind on how much to raise rates.
In a way, the data in the first 5 weeks of the intermeeting period pointed to stronger inflation and a stronger labor market. So that pointed to higher rates.
Except...
And then this latter part, kind of the possibility of credit conditions tightening really offset that effectively.
Which is how we got to a 0.25 percentage point increase in the federal funds rate today, the 9th in a year, by the way. A little bit more from Jay Powell coming up later on. Can never get enough of Jay Powell. On Wall Street today, it was the classic, oh, yeah, we like what Powell is saying. Oh, wait, no, we don't dance that traders do. We'll have the details when we do the numbers. As a whole lot more people have probably discovered the past 10 days, 2 weeks, interest rates aren't the Federal Reserve's only job. It's also a banking regulator. And one way the Fed exercises that supervision is with what have come to be called stress tests, basically gaming out how banks would handle some given set of economic adversities and then whether they would be okay or wind up in deep trouble. But those stress tests only apply to a handful of the very biggest banks. And after Congress rolled back parts of the Dodd-Frank law, they didn't apply to Silicon Valley Bank at all. Marketplace's Mitchell Hartman spent some time talking to people about what stress tests can and cannot do and how that might change now.